Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Hofer.
Hi, I'm Garth.
That's right, two-time state champion.
Two-time state champion. Yes, sir. For those of you listening who have no idea what we're talking about, it's darts. Don't get too excited. But it was exciting to me. So, yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yep. We both had a litany of things come up last week. Garth was on the road. I had some other stuff going on. So we, rather than providing a substandard show, we unfortunately just didn't have one for you guys.
Yeah, that's our bad. But we're here now, so we're ready to talk. And we actually have a solid topic this week.
We do, but before we get into it, Garth, did you do anything fun?
I did a lot of fun stuff. Gun-related, not really. I'm actually kind of disappointed in myself because we are sitting at the 29th day of February, and I have not bought my gun of the month yet.
Well, there is still time.
There is time. Is this one of those years where we end? Is it the last day of February right now?
Yes. Yes,
is it?
It is.
Oh,
it is
man.
midday.
Boy, we might have to talk after the show's over.
Well, it just so happens I have something neat that's sitting right here.
What do you got? That's a Ruger. I see a Ruger. Is that the one I ordered a while ago?
No, it is not. That is a Super Blackhawk and 44 Magnum.
Oh, no. I don't need a 44 Magnum. It's a cool gun, but no.
That is okay. I have done some fun gun stuff. I've been to the range. I have done some shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually done a fair bit of gunsmithing as well.
Nice.
And I'm going to ruin any chance we ever have at getting a sponsorship from a company right now.
Well, okay. I don't care.
In 3, 2, 1. Fostech Echo Sport triggers are dumb.
Okay.
So Fostech triggers are a binary trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually read their pamphlets, they use technology licensed from Franklin Armory.
Okay.
So, okay, yep, they do have some different design things that are theirs that are a little unique. And they have one that's just a cassette style trigger, so they're a little bit easier to install for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they're a bit of a pain. I would rather do a Franklin Armory because it's more gooder to me.
They've kind of cornered the market as far as binary triggers go. So,
well, and Fostech's work, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're the Echo trigger. But I had my first experience this week installing for a customer the Echo Sport, which I think is supposed to be their Garth. While I'm talking, you want to look up the price on one?
Sure.
And because I think they're supposed to be their more economical version, and they have a couple features that are kind of odd because, well, they are like the Franklin where you have, safe, semi, and binary mode.
Yeah.
The major difference on the Echo Sport is something I really don't like.
Okay, go on. The price is $329, so really they're not that much more expensive than the Franklins.
Yeah, so this is, like I said, it's their more economical. It's their competitively priced one.
Yep.
But so you run the safety selector. Okay, yep. So the Echo 2 I understand what you're saying with the hammer follow, like the Franklins.
Mm,
The Echo, the sport trigger is odd because they do not have a 3-position safety selector like the Echo 2 and the Franklin Armory does.
mm-hmm.
It is a 2-position, and then they have a toggle in front of the trigger that's right at the top of the trigger area
Okay.
underneath the lower receiver. You touch it and slide it over to go into binary
Mm,
echo mode, as they call it. So if you have like giant Floyd hands or gloves on,
mm.
you will catch that and throw it into binary when you're not expecting it.
Oh, okay. That makes a little, yeah. Well, looking at their website now, I'm looking at the other triggers, and then the price just jumps up 480, 575. And they're a little expensive.
Yeah, and I've installed a bunch of them, and it's I have ran a lot of them, and installed a bunch of both. And
Mm-hmm.
on the gunsmith side, and in my personal guns, I run the Franklins. And Jen Champ says he only gets hammer follow if he's riding the trigger too much. And that has happened to me. And it really happens to people who are not used to shooting it when they shoot my my Manicore or my Matador arms
Yep.
barrel. Every
You
now and
know,
then.
sorry.
Every,
Go on. I'm done.
go ahead, Garth. Go ahead.
I'm just looking at their website. That's why I can't see when you're talking right now. They have a 20 round 50 caliber drum magazine for $1,600 if you guys are interested.
Yes, we saw that at SHOT Show.
Yeah. I didn't know the price though. Now I do.
Yes.
They're a little expensive.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my one complaint about that. And it's the Echoes are a little bit more difficult to get together than the Franklins.
Well, that's okay. I only have one Franklin anyway right now, and it's a PCC, and I barely shoot that thing because I got yelled at. Oh, you can't shoot that in competition. Watch me.
Who said that?
I don't want to say his name because I know he doesn't listen to the show, but people that know him might, and they do watch, and so his name is Don. Whatever. I'm the president of our shooting club. I can make the rules.
Sure, that's what they said.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
No. Yes, Garth did get elected president of our shooting club since our last episode as well.
Did that? So, yeah. So
there's been all sorts of neat things.
Big changes are coming to the South Central Handgunners Club.
And by big changes, he means like minor ones at best.
Slightly less than minor.
Yes.
Yeah.
But speaking of those things, as we go through, I know that I have been a lot of Fridays. Fridays are kind of my range day for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of how my schedule works. That's generally the day that I can go to the range and do my my own personal training. And a lot of times we go out and shoot with our friend Pastor Craig.
Yep.
And Craig and I do a lot of shooting together, and he has definitely got like the long range bug. And even the mid range, like he's getting into scoped carbine in a big way, which is good because, like, realistically, as a prepared citizen, a good concept of scoped carbine and mid range shooting is probably more important than being super good at CQB.
Yeah, I mean it's good to dust off, all the skills and everything like that.
Yep. So. And those are things that I too need to work on. It's just he and I both are looking at very different worlds, because the stuff I'm looking at is, I am not shooting 8-inch plates at 500 meters. I am, you know, doing things specifically for one game that I play, and so I have been having a chance to go out and do that, and it will lead into our topic tonight, because it gets into some positional shooting and things of that nature. So positional shooting causes you to have different arrangement of your gear at times.
Mm-hmm.
And well, tonight's show is kind of all about placing your gear and your kit.
Yeah.
But also, we do have like one other kind of big news things for you and I.
Yes. Is it the rifles?
No.
Okay, then I'm off.
Yes, that's okay. We signed up for our first pro shoot.
Oh yeah, I totally did that yesterday. Totally forgot about that.
Yes, we signed up for our first like semi-professional or pro 3-gun / PCC event to shoot against some of the bigger names in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So that is exciting to me.
Oh no, it's gonna be super fun. I hope I can go. Like I signed up. Hopefully it works out. It's in a bad time of the year for myself personally, but it sounds like we're gonna be in the field here in like 3 weeks. So everything's getting pushed up. So might be free in June now.
Yeah. And the event we're talking about is we're going to shoot the Hornaday Zombies in the Heartland match, because, well, that's what they named it when they started it. You know, it was Zombies Were the Rage.
Mm.
And they said, well, embrace tradition. And they're just going to keep calling it the zombie match. And Garth and I are going to shoot that. So there will be updates on our journey and practicing and things of that nature. I know that personally, I'm going to take the physical training probably more serious than the shooting training.
I really haven't read up on it other than I know it's a big match. So I'm not really sure what the physicality is going to be. I know I'm going to be huffing it and winded, but
Yeah, I'm just going to work on getting my foot speed up, like
yeah,
doing some high knees stuff and getting that stuff back where I can be fleet of foot, which is important for someone who's built like a spider monkey like myself.
yes, yeah, you are exactly built like a spider monkey. Although, I mean, you kind of got me excited about it the other day just because you were telling me all the guys' shirt sizes that have been ordered so far, and it sounds like it's going to be a barbecue sexy size shoot. So
Yes, it's well, I mean, that is beneficial to us, where it's, you know, a lot of shooters are not small people.
yes, so at least I'll have that going for me. So maybe I'll surprise them.
Yes, but as we move forward here, like, we have those things that are exciting, and I am excited about that, and it will be interesting. So there will be some updates on what's going on with that as we go through. But also coupled with that, tonight we were going to talk a little bit about placement of your kit. And this is one of those topics that goes from brand new shooters to seasoned shooters, and no one ever really talks about.
Yeah.
So I know that like, I will mention it, you know, if you're in South Dakota and decide to come to one of our carbine classes, uh, this summer, then you may hear me talk about some of these things. But one of the things that I will talk about if I have time when explaining things, especially to like a group of soldiers that I'm training, is placement of things on their kit. Because people don't think about where stuff goes on their kit.
Are you like referring to like magazines or just everything in general and where to best?
Everything everything in general, because like I remember looking at stuff and everything I've learned the hard way, not because anyone told me anything. And
Trial and error.
yeah, it's been a lot of that. So Zachary says, how do we sign up for a carbine class? Zach, when we get those things posted for the summer, because we're still figuring out second and third quarter classes, when we have those dates hammered out, we'll let you know where to do it. And if you're in the area, you can come and get signed up for one of those. But right now, they haven't been finalized, but we are going to be teaching at least one this summer. So, or rather, I will.
Well, you will. I will be there in support. So,
But back to what I was saying, the placement of kit and gear, I learned it all the hard way.
mm-hmm.
Like honestly, there's stuff that I do to this day that I picked up from, I remember when getting training was like there was a handful of people doing classes and it was hard to find training. So everyone was watching like the Magpul Art of the Dynamic Carbine and those things. And I remember standing in my living room watching one of those with like my belt on, and I didn't even have a proper competition belt. Like I had an AR mag holder that I'd slid around.
Yeah.
And actually, Thomas, there might be, but Thomas had said there might not be any cross up when he's there. I mean, I know the guy who's making the schedule, so
he does. He knows him.
But watching that video, and I remember doing dry fire and practicing and trying some of the things they talked about just in that class, and I should say in that video series, and going, oh, okay, that makes sense, because it was like which direction to orient your magazines.
That was probably one of the biggest things for me when I started doing the competition shooting, because I'd never used a belt before. It was just pockets. And orientation of magazine is a huge thing for time alone. But also, you don't want to stick your magazine in the wrong way. I've seen it happen before. It's not pretty when it doesn't come out.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
So, like we are going to talk about a handful of different types of kit tonight. I have examples beside me that I will hold up and then try and describe for all of our audio listeners.
Well, you have examples. I have one. My portion of the show will be sponsored by Condor.
None of mine is.
I know.
Although I can't talk smack about Condor. For several years, I ran a Condor chest rig doing Army competitions, and I still have it. And they are inexpensive gear. They're not the best Gucci gear, but some of that stuff just holds up. And honestly, it does what I needed it to.
Correct. And that's why I have, honestly, I think I have 4 Condor chest rigs. And not a lot of wear on them. I probably wear them a couple times a year. I don't really go full on, and I should, but that's also because we're not really 3-gun competitors. We're more USPSA single gun competitors.
Well,
I am.
Also, I don't wear chest rigs for 3-gun.
No, you don't. I know that. Yeah.
And even when I'm doing like rather substantial runs for 3-gun, I do have stuff that I could, but I also have competitions where I do wear chest rigs. And then in training, I will wear all sorts of different gear. And I know that we've talked a little bit about it before, and this is something that's I'm going to come back and hit on again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your kit. Like, go to the range and wear it, because even though, like, I will talk about all the things I've learned, it might not work for you. You might have a way that's better because you bend better than I do.
Mm. Correct.
It's because Garth, I was there the first time you wore a plate carrier and shot with it.
You were, and the first 15 minutes sucked, and then my shoulders went numb, and then it was fine. But then after the first hour, I was done. I was over it.
Well, that was like even a different time before we went to the class. You and I shot it at our local range.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, you're just like, yep, I'm over this, and then we took a class and wore them the whole day, and that was when I introduced you to the chest rig.
Yes, that is correct.
And you went, "This is way better.
This is so much nicer. It's not as heavy, not protected at all, but it's not as heavy."
Yep, and so really, when you're running, like, with what we do when we're running a rifle,
Mm-hmm.
there are ancillary parts of our rifle that we need to have. The most important of which being magazines with ammunition.
Correct.
So, to that end, you need to carry that with you because it doesn't just magic into the air like it does on Xbox.
It just doesn't respawn. You can't have 100 bullets in the same magazine.
Like, you can't just hit the blue button to put a new mag in and never have to think about where those are.
Yeah.
You do put them on, and we might get a little bit into why I play some of the things I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the better places to start is with belt setups.
Okay, we can do that.
The reason why I say it's good to start with belt setups is you can have a mag carrier, like a Blade Tech mag carrier, that has one of their Blade Tech locks.
Yep.
So you don't need to have the fancy inner outer competition battle belt. You have just a mag carrier where if you're wearing pants with a belt, you can clip that on and have an extra mag on you.
Maybe we should even go a little step further. If you are recommending a belt to our listeners, where would you send them? Just as a
Blue Alpha Gear.
Perfect.
That's Blue Alpha Gear, 100%. That's the only belt I run.
Cool.
Blue Alpha Gear. I'm buying another one just because I want to change some of my setups to be able to do Molly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm buying their like, we don't get any credit for that. They're just good dudes. They help Flatline Fiber get started, and Kurt and the gang over there is just like solid stand-up guys. And Blue Alpha Gear is where it's at. Their Battle Belt Light is probably the best battle belt on the market right now.
And the price point is what usually around those?
Those are like $130-ish.
So you're gonna spend some money, but it's a time-tested product.
Oh, I've been running my belt for 5 years, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I am not getting rid of this belt. It's still going to be my go-to. I'm just getting another setup to put in my my battle box.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, you got more than one gun. Why wouldn't you have more than one belt?
Well, and for what I do, especially.
No, yeah. So,
yeah.
So diving back into magazine holders and things of the like, do you have any specific ones that you'd recommend again to our listeners out there, our listening audience? I mean, I know there's so many versatile different mags out there. There's retention ones and everything like that, but
so
what are some of your favorites?
So I have one that I'm excited to try, and because I haven't yet. I have not put hands on one, but people I trust have. and they like them, and that's actually from Blue Alpha Gear. They're making mag holders now.
Oh, are they? Cool.
And they're a Cordura, like a thinner, lighter, lightweight mag holder that's fast. They're very comparable to the S-Tac Kiwi, which the Kiwis are kind of the gold standard for what people run. Personally, on my belt, I do not run those. I actually run G-Code Scorpion mags, which for those listening, the G-Code Scorpion are rubberized and then have shot cord around them. And the reason why I love these so much is they adapt to whatever mag you want to put in them. So, like, I can run a 1911 mag or a 22 round 320 mag, and they run it just fine. Or for my rifle mag stuff, I can run a AR-15 mag or shove an AR-10 mag in it. And that is what I personally run. I just like that setup. There are systems that are faster because they are slicker on the inside and they can speed you up by thousandths of a second. But I'm going to be honest, I don't need that.
That's fair.
Not because I'm lightning fast, but because I'm way more concerned with like retention and how things work.
No, yeah. That's one thing I need to update on my carrier system alone is new mag holders, because I went cheap when I first bought my setup for 3-gun, and I've still got the hard plastic mag holders that come in the packs of 2 or whatever, and they work. I mean, I'm not.
Oh, I ran those for years, and those are legitimately faster than my Scorpion mags.
I'm gonna jump up real quick and grab them because I don't even remember the brand they are. So,
well, Garth is jumping up and grabbing those. I'm going to guess they are Blade Tech because I'm pretty sure I told him to buy those. So when he comes back here, he's going to say like, "Oh yeah, these are Blade Tech or some Amazon variation thereof."
I lied. I did upgrade. They're Blade Tech.
Oh, well, listeners, put one of those in the Dooley was right jar.
And, look at that.
I was just saying, oh, I believe they're Blade Tech or some variation thereof.
I forgot that I bought these. Huh. Yeah. So these are solid.
Also, a lot of Blade Tech makes a lot of like if you bought an M&P and it came with a range kit or like a SIG or any of those, Blade Tech makes most of those range kit ready holsters that come with guns. And they're a solid option, especially if you're just getting started.
Yes, they are. So I think they're pretty. I'm going to do a little dive in on the internet here while we continue to talk, and I will see what prices those are.
So while we're talking about it, on my personal competition belt, I run 3 pistol mags and 2 rifle mags, solely because like I run 30 round rifle mags because, well, America, and that's a standard capacity magazine for an AR. But the one thing that is very different in how I place them, I run 3 pistol mags and 2 rifle mags. And if you're running magazines on your belt, for pistol mags, remember this phrase. Write this down. Bullets toward belly button.
Bullets toward belly button. Got it.
Because when you have that, that means that when you grab your mag and pull it up and present it, the bullets are actually pointing forward. So bullets toward your belt buckle so that they're actually facing forward instead of backward. So bullets towards belly button.
Actually, Craig gave me a great idea one day when we were on the range. He goes, when you reach for your magazine in the belt and you pull it up, make sure your index finger touches the tip of the bullet, just so you know it's there before you slam it home. It's just a nice little indication, little reminder.
Which is a great way to look at that. I don't do that anymore, but
got your hand in the cookie jar, didn't you?
Oh, a couple million reps of it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I hurt a finger doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't do that no more. But for my rifle mags I put with bullets towards back.
Pull towards back. Okay.
Because I get what is called a beer can grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
So for our listeners listening at home,
and watching us do motions on our screen.
Well, I'm saying for the listeners at home, what I'm talking about is with the bullets facing towards the back, I reach down and grab a hold of it with my thumb down. So my thumb is down, like pressing against my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull up and bring up. So I have it like a beer can where I'd be taking a drink with my thumb towards my face. And if I took a drink out of that mag, I would be drinking at the primer side or the rim side of the magazine. And then when I eject that, I bring that up and I can run my finger alongside straight up to guide it into the mag well. And then amazingly enough, when that comes up and we go in, or you can use your thumb to do the same thing and use your thumb along the backside of the mag well and run it up. And then when that happens, if you're doing an emergency reload, you can hit the bolt carrier if you're right-handed and hit that stop so it'll go forward.
There you go. That works pretty dang good.
It's almost like, it's how it was designed. Yep. And the only other thing that I run on my belt is I do run in about the middle of my back a Blue Force Gear Micro Trauma Now trauma kit with a tourniquet hanger underneath of it. And then, of course, on my strong side, I have my holster in a optimal drop holster.
How do you feel about dump pouches on your belt?
I run one.
Okay.
I run one from our friends at Flatline Fiber. I've run one before. I've ran about 5 different variations of dump pouches, and the one that lives on my belt and will not come off is the one from Flatline.
Mm-hmm. I also have a Flatline Fiber on mine as well. I think they're constructed really nice.
And the reason why I like it is for anyone viewing, you can see it. It is made to hang beneath an AR mag pouch, so it is roughly the same size as that AR magazine when it's rolled up. But when it goes out, like you can fit 6 magazines in it.
Yeah, it's a hefty little pouch, so it's got plenty of room and storage to dump your excess mags.
Yes, and I love it. It is a great dump pouch. Like that thing is leaps and bounds ahead of the other dump pouches.
Oh yeah, those stupid nylon ones that yeah, I can't stand them.
Oh, I've 5 of those.
Or not the nylon, the vinyl ones. You know what I'm talking about? The flimsy. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the big heavy Cordura ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, yep, I have these. I have stuff still that I need to add to my kit that I haven't yet. I have it like in the other room. I just haven't added it. But that's a me thing.
So basically, you say that your battle belt is pretty minimalistic. I mean, it's got the things you absolutely need at that present moment: holster, gun, mags, or magazine pouches, and a small little trauma kit because you never know.
Reasons. And I am going to add this to it.
Now, for the listeners at home, what is this?
This, just give me 1 second while I grab it because I want to make sure I call it by the right name.
Okay, you go ahead and grab that. We'll patiently wait here because I'm curious. I don't even know what you're grabbing right now.
It is the Stratus support system, and you should know what it is because you have one as well.
Yeah, I have one. I didn't know what it was. I was looking at it. It's hard to see on camera, Nick.
Yeah, it is the Stratus support system, and it is. We talked to these guys at SHOT Show, and it is a holster for your AR. It'd be the easiest way to use it. You put it on, and you still have your sling, but you can clip it in to just add a third point of retention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and run one. I think it's more feasible for duty than it is for competition setup.
Well, I think so as well. I mean, just because of the rules and regulations during competitions, I don't think they'd ever allow it to fly. But as far as actually going to the range and training yourself, or like you said, duty purposes, I think it's a fantastic design.
Yes. And I get a fair mix of both.
You do. Some weird, new.
Yeah, it's that's one of the things where I am rather blessed to have a fair mix of both, the competition side of shooting and the duty side, where I get to try a little bit of it all. So that makes my heart happy.
All right, dude. So we've kind of covered some belts. Do you want to maybe talk about kits themselves?
I do have one other thing that I want to mention, though.
Okay.
And that is drop legs. So drop leg holsters or drop leg drop leg panels.
Yep.
So I run an optimal drop on my belt.
Yeah.
And what that does is it drops everything, I think it's 2.5 or 3 inches. And that is made to clear body armor.
Yes. And I like your setup, but every time I hear drop leg, I think of like The Rock in, the Fast and Furious movies where he's got it down on his thigh.
And that's what it is. We have the drop leg. So the reason why the drop leg holster was invented, Mr. 1995 SWAT guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we played the first, what was the game? Rainbow Six.
Yeah, there you
go. The late 90s Rainbow Six.
Yep.
So I have had to use drop leg holsters, like been required to use them. Oh yeah. And that was what I was issued. And the whole purpose of a drop leg holster was because at the time everything was like a high ride on your belt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wore body armor, the body armor was in the way of your draw stroke.
Yeah, and I get the whole purpose of the drop leg.
So yeah, it was if you wear a drop leg holster properly on a pair of like cargo pants,
yeah,
it successfully fucks up 2 pockets.
That's a great explanation of what that holster does. I mean, I see them all the time, and I thought, hey, that's really cool, just from a cool guy standpoint. But at the same time, any guy I've seen wearing them has never had body armor on. And so I'm like, so he's just going for that factor. And because of those guys, I don't want to wear one.
Oh, because of wearing one, I don't want to wear one. If your drop leg holster is down around your knee, you are wearing it in the wrong place. It's actually supposed to be mounted about covering your, like if you're wearing pants, like proper pants that have pockets.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to reach into that pocket because the holster's there.
Yeah.
But they made them so adjustable that everyone went, oh, I'm going to wear it down here because, gunfighters in the Old West. Actually, I think it's because of Laura Croft.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
And
but she had skinny legs and I've got thunder thighs. So
yeah, but no, drop legs are like, there is a point to them, but like where you position that and things of that nature, guys, drop legs should be higher than what they're normally worn. Like I said, if they're down by your knee, they're too low. And That's all I'm going to say about that. And there is a point of having a belt that is too busy.
Yeah,
Like, I wear a rather minimalistic belt.
I think you do. Yeah.
Like, I do and I don't, because I do carry 5 mags, a gun, occasionally a knife, and a med kit on it.
You know whose belt I think is just a little too busy, and he might hear this, he may not.
Our buddy Orlin.
I was going to say him or Craig, both of them.
Well, Craig's makes sense to me. Craig and I
Okay.
actually wear the same belt.
Okay. But yeah, our buddy Orlin does have a little bit of a busy belt. But I also understand because, he's also a revolver guy. So he's carrying 3 different classes on his belt. So,
Well, and he is using his grenade pouches for moon clips.
yes, he is.
Yes, and Kurt, you're right. If you have an 8-inch barrel, you may need to have it slung low, otherwise it will raise it up a bit. And I do not carry an 8-inch barrel on my handgun.
The hand cannons, huh?
Yep. I mean, you can. It is a way.
Let's
move on into talking. No. This is the way. But let's move on to talking about chest rigs.
You bet.
Chest rigs is one of those subjects that there are probably as many chest rigs as there are types of shooters.
Yes.
So,
yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Chest rigs come down to, in my notes here, I have it wrote down as how much shit you want to carry.
Yes. That's the best way to put it.
Now, Garth, you have your chest rig there behind you.
I do.
And I have my current chest rig I run beside me.
Yes.
So I'm going to challenge you to describe mine when I show it.
Okay. Well, drum roll, please.
So now you have also seen me wearing this one.
I have.
So this chest rig is slightly different because it is a split front.
Yeah. Why don't you sling that on for me real quick, bud, and you can stand and model that bad boy, and I will give it my go.
Yes, and everyone can also see my sweet Camerado pants.
Oh, you got some Camerado pants, huh?
I do.
Nice. He's strapped in. Ready to go. Now, see, your chest rig wraps all the way around in a I would have trouble with your chest rig, honestly, just because of where your magazine pouches sit. They go up into his armpits almost. I mean, he's fully strapped. He's got, I'd say, 2, 4, 6, 8, probably 12 magazines on you right now?
The correct answer to how many mags is 8 rifle and 8 pistol.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, yeah, you have a crap ton of magazines on you. And I have nothing wrong with carrying that many mags, but the way your chest rig sits, and because it's a split, a lot of that weight is going, or that magazines are going up into your armpits, and I think that would bother the heck out of me. Just me personally, just because I would feel that every time I set my arms down, and I could see rubbing and chafing problems. Horrible.
This is a rig for a very specific setup. This is the rig that I wear. So they don't even make this rig anymore. Actually, I think the closest one you can get is Spiritus now makes one similar to it. But this is a Gray Ghost Gear split rig. And I may have bought the last one they made.
Ever.
And I run it with 4 double meg setups.
Mm-hmm.
So double kangaroo pouches. I run 4 of them because when I go shoot for military competitions, we have events that we have to carry it's in the regs for the event. You have to carry 8 rifle and 8 pistol mags.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 100% for that. This is not a fast setup.
No, but that one, I mean, like you said, you're carrying for capacity. So
Yeah, it's I'm required to do that. And in the past, what I started with is actually the Condor setup. I believe you have behind you.
yep.
That you have 6 mags. You have 6 and 6 in front, and
nothing on the back.
No, I'm saying you have 6 and 6.
Yep.
And I would run an extra kangaroo on each side to get me my 8 and 8.
Yep. But I believe these. No, these might be single pouches. I think these are double. These are double.
They're doubles.
Yep, these are doubles.
I know.
Yep. You are correct.
So I would run an additional single kangaroo on each side of that.
Yep.
But I ran that with a camelback on the back. And as part of the H harness. Now, this particular setup, I switched to it because it is split on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows me to get lower in the prone.
Yes. And that makes sense.
And yes, it is more uncomfortable because the mags wrap all the way around my back and go into my armpits. But everything I do, my arms are up or out in front of me. So I don't notice it when I'm actually using it.
Yeah.
It is a very specific setup, but having the split chest rig does work because you can carry more stuff around you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like running some of the old Army kit, like the original LBV for load-bearing vest, I may have one tucked away somewhere, and that thing is pure sex. So you'd run 6 magazines because it ran your double magazine pouches in a split front setup, but they were at like a 45 going down your suspenders.
Oh.
Again, not a fast setup. Like my fastest magazines are on my belt.
Yes.
But these, when I'm shooting this specific game, I just go, okay, yep, I have this. And I even have, like, if you look, I have the mags specifically set out.
Yep.
For what ends go to what type of shooting I'm doing.
But I mean, that's the whole point. Like you said, a chest rig or a kit setup isn't built for speed. It's built for capacity.
Yes, like this is a mission specific rig.
Yes.
And it is not what I would recommend. Like, oh man, I want to build a rig out. Tell me what you run. Don't run this. Now, I know there's an argument about how much ammunition you can carry, and I've never met anyone who's been in a firefight who wishes they had less ammunition.
Yes.
So carrying 8 rounds of ammunition or 8 magazines worth of ammunition plus the one in your gun.
That can get you good totals.
Yes, it's over 240 rounds.
I'm just doing some math here. 252.
I said it's over 240 rounds.
You were correct. So, I mean, if you weren't going to full capacity, I went with a 28 round. But, yeah. So, that could be bumped up a little bit. So,
yeah. It's, running at that. And then, again, I have 8 17-round pistol mags there as well. And that has a lot of weight and a lot of capacity to run on it. Now, the one thing you notice it did not have a med kit.
Yes.
That did not have a So that did not have a med kit. That did not have any water sources. That did not have any of those types of things.
But that's not what that, I mean, is designed for. I mean, could you attach them to them? Probably.
Oh, 100%.
But in that regard, like you said, it's a very mission specific piece of equipment. You're taking that when you have to go and like your competitions that you go to for guards and stuff. You have a very set list of things you have to go accomplish with certain magazines. So that's what it's for. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
And I really, really don't like autoplay videos. I hope you guys didn't hear that, but you may have.
I did not hear a word.
Okay, good. It was just in my in mine. So I do have. I talked about stuff I have in the other room, and I have like there is a product that I am pissed I did not come up with.
Well,
and
do tell.
I'm going to share it with everyone now.
Okay.
Because I will present it, and this will go on a piece of kit. Like I was talking about water. Water is very important to me.
Yeah.
Because I go through a lot of it. So this is a Camelback kit for a Nalgene water bottle.
Oh, nice.
But this pouch that it is from Coyote Tactical Solutions. I'll scroll down, and what it does is it just mollies on.
Oh, very cool.
So it'll go onto your kit, onto your plate carrier, onto your belt.
Yep.
And then you use the rest of the kit to it has a straw and a Camelback hose that goes into a Nalgene water bottle. So you just have your normal water bottle turns into a Camelback instead of having to have that separate Camelback.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy one of those for SHOT Show next year.
You're like, that is amazing.
That is genius. I understand why you're upset now.
It's like I saw that and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? No, I actually got one for Christmas. And
oh, did you? Cool.
Yeah, I have it in the other room. I just haven't put it on anything yet because I'm like, which one do I put it on?
No, it's a very cool product, man. I mean, that's little things, man. That guy's making bank off bottled water.
So one of the other things, Garth, the first chest rig that you ran, it was actually my micro rig.
Yes.
And micro chest rigs have come a long way from the one that you ran for me or ran of mine. So the micro chest rig that I have, that I kind of threw in my pickup to have just as a go bag item, was a yes, it
are you stroking out on me?
No, I'm not. What I did was posted the link to where to get that into the comments.
Cool. You're a good man for doing that because I'm gonna click on it soon.
Yeah, I put that into the comments. I'm not sure if anyone will get it. I'll put it in the show notes as well.
Cool.
So I'm sorry to sound like I was having a stroke.
You kind of were. I was concerned, man.
No, I was just trying to do all the things at once. So, anyways, I blacked out for a second there.
He's back.
But the micro like I grew up calling them a shingle. Like I was like, oh, this is we were at a class and Garth said, hey, I'm done with this chest rig. Or I'm done with this plate carrier.
Yeah. It was time to be done.
Yep. You'd been wearing it for about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done with this.
I'm over it. I've worked out enough today.
And then you made a comment about like mags, and I go, oh, why don't you run my shingle?
Yeah, and it worked well, but it was a little. I mean, it was snug because I'm barbecue sexy size. So, but
well, in 100% honesty, it was one that I bought as a. Like I got it as a. I saw it and went, hey, this would work for, again, I buy gear for very specific instances.
yep.
And I'm like, this will work because I have a slick plate carrier that I carry with me.
Yep.
And if I needed to have 3 AR mags, I have this small chest carrier that is just a 3 mag panel.
Yep.
That I can throw on.
And they mold together so well.
This is glorious.
Oh, it was so good. Yep. It was fantastic.
And he goes, now I'm going to buy this.
And I did, and I bought several, but in the right size. But yeah, no, I think a chest rig is definitely something everyone should invest in. And like Nick said, practice. Go to the range and wear it, and put your mags in there, and do draws from it and reloads. That's what I'm saying. Because
so with there's a new thing happening in chest rigs that I really, really like.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the bigger names like Haley is doing it, Spiritus is doing this, and there's a couple other ones who are making a chest rig, but it takes placards. So placard goes on the front of a plate carrier.
Yeah.
And let me see what Garth, while I'm talking, would you go to Spiritus and look up Spiritus Systems? And so they have placards that will go on your chest rig as well as your plate carrier.
Okay.
So the plate carrier has a Velcro backing.
Yes, it does.
And when you can go, hey, I'm going to be doing this. I don't need to have body armor, but I can have everything in the same space.
Yep.
And actually here, I have the website up, so I will present it.
Okay.
And yes, as Javelina Fangs says, it is modular. But if you look here, you can see like this placard comes off, and it has a 3 mag pouch and an admin pouch and all this, and it just Velcros and clips into the chest rig, right?
Yep.
So if you do this where you go, oh, hey, I'm going to have a chest rig, you can get the chest rig that will clip into your plate carrier, or you can have it that will clip into your H harness for the chest rig. So everything's in the same space. It's just a matter of whether or not you're running body armor.
Yeah, no, and it's a lot better than the setup I currently have. I'm going to whip around and grab that real quick because I am still old school. Like I said, I was going to be sponsored by Condor tonight. Well, that's exactly what I am. So as you can see for the viewing audience, this is my plate carrier system, and I have the Condor set up, the 6 magazine holders, or the kangaroo pouches, as Nick says. Well, I put 4 pistol mags in the front 2, and then did 4 AR magazines. And so that setup works for me pretty well, just because I want capacity, like Nick said. But as far as reloading goes and stuff like that, it is a slow process for me personally. I just haven't done it enough repetitions to get good at doing it. But I mean, there's a lot to work with, because then you have your sling on, and you've got your AR, and you've got to slide it over, and and grab magazines and stuff. It's a process, but it's one that takes time and repetitions.
Yeah, and while you're at it, I also have my plate carrier where Garth talks about his. I too run 3 megs in the front. I am not sponsored by Condor. I have a customized. I have a very customized Cry JPC 2.0. We're running an A&A Tactical Sea Cucumber cummerbund.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a backpack bag or back panel, and then 3 megs in the front with a Thrim cell vault on the front to hold phones and things like that for doing tactical bookkeeping.
That's very smart.
And I have those things. That also has magazine pouches on the side, so it actually has that setup as it sits now has 7 AR mag and 4 pistol mag pouches.
Mm-hmm.
But I generally run a radio in one of my mag pouches on that setup.
And that's good to have because communication is key. Without communication, you're just a guy out in the woods by yourself.
Yeah, and well, I mean, and that's just one of those that's a me thing. That's what I do. But I could put an actual radio pouch on it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with placement of gear, this is one thing I'm going to say. If you have a group of friends that you train with, IFAKs or first aid kits.
Yep.
IFAK stands for individual first aid kit. So, if it is an individual first aid kit, who is your IFAK for, Garth?
For you or whoever's hurt, man.
No.
Okay.
No, this is one of those things that bleeds over from the Army.
Yes.
Your IFAK is for you.
Okay.
Because all of your buddies also have the exact same IFAK.
Oh, okay.
So it's first aid and buddy care is what we call it. If you're training with a group, like if you have a bunch of dudes you regularly train with,
yeah,
get the same med pouches and setups.
Yeah.
And then standardize where you place them.
So
and it's not about you being able to grab it. Like that's part of the reason why mine's in my back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can grab it and pull it out. And there's a tourniquet back there and stuff like that. And yes, you can carry 4 tourniquets for all 4 limbs and blah, 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 blah. But the IFAK is really for you. And when you come up on your buddy, it's like, oh no, you got a hole in you, buddy. Let me pull yours out and start using it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that way it's... Well, it's because you patch up your buddy.
Yeah.
And then, so you do that out of yours, and then you send him away, and he still has his med kit full.
That makes total sense, man. Cool.
And then you're sitting there going like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then thwack, something happens to you.
And then something jump out and bit me.
And you're like, oh no, if only I had not given up all of my supplies to my buddy. So it's use their med kit on them.
Okay.
Like I do carry a spare med kit, but it's in my bag.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, no, this is for other people. This one is for me.
Fair enough.
Which is things that, again, weird training scars we all have. That's one of mine.
Hey, man. It's good to know this knowledge. That's why we do this, right? To put it out for the people. And me, apparently, because I don't listen.
Well, and I have a bad habit of just vomiting information.
No one's ever said that to you before, ever.
Yeah, just daily.
Just daily.
But, I realize, the MyFAK, That's right. If it was an apple, it'd be a MyFac. That is great. Guys, we do have some exciting content coming up. There is one thing we forgot to talk about tonight, and that was VZ grips. And VZ grips are great because they're made from a solid block of G10, and G10 is great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered in mud, blood, or sweat. The unique grip angle and 17-degree grip angle of VZ grips make sure that you always have contact with it, along with exceptional customizability, including standard slim palm swells, and thumb notches, bottom profiles, and more for their pistol grips. And you have all the colors and textures available. Garth hates all of mine.
But you can get all the colors of the wind, man, so it's cool.
You do, and you can even get them for the soft, buttery hands.
I really wanted to work that in somewhere. Oh, by the way, the code for that is AR-15 podcast. That'll get you 10%. So check those guys out.
So Jack, you say, would I prioritize a chest rig or a plate carrier?
Oh, I know what I do.
With the way the world is now,
plate carrier.
I would probably go with a plate carrier. And then work back from there. I've dumped a lot of money into gear over the years. And I've used Army gears and then bought my own and said, oh, this Army gear is trash. And now, honestly, like, get on eBay, and I'm gonna while we're talking, I'm gonna do this.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm with Nick as well. Get a plate carrier, because here's the realistic part. You're going to spend between $400 to $650 on a decent plate carrier, and a chest rig costs between $40 and $100.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want a plate carrier that will do everything we've talked about and hold all of the ammunitions, get on eBay and type in Army Tap.
Surplus stuff, huh?
And it is like, it's actually legitimately a solid plate carrier setup, or not plate carrier, but chest rig. And if you wanted an ACU, you can get it for $30, and it's about $50 or $40 to $50 for it in multicam. But it will hold 12 magazines if you want it to. So I mean, it is all the mags. And I run both. Javelina says IFAC on carrier or belt. I run that micro on my belt for all my civilian stuff. For mill stuff, I run plate carrier. I run it on my plate carrier or tap system, however you want to put it. I don't have a problem with having one of each. It's just a matter of having it where it doesn't get in the way.
Yep.
And I am a huge fan of that Blue Force Gear Micro Trauma now. The only thing it doesn't have is because it has a Israeli bandage, a chest seal, a tourniquet, and another compression bandage is what I have loaded in mine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a Mylar blanket, but it's not it's not a kit for first aid for other people.
Yep.
But
anyway,
before we drive down any other weird rabbit holes, is there anywhere else they should check out?
Yeah, they should check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co, guys, for all your pop culture patches, for all your cleaning pad necessities, or mouse pads, as we like to use them for. They have stickers, they have tin signs, they have it all. And most importantly, they're South Dakota based. So go check out Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co.
And these guys aren't sponsors of ours. He's just a good dude. Check out Sticker Phantom.
Oh, please do. We had too much
because
fun with those guys.
if you do, you can get a battle-worn Bluey.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's like too legit to quit right there.
Yeah.
But no, we'll be having more about that coming up, and that was just our little bit on kit placement and things of that nature. Yes, and get the not a Fed patch, or my personal favorite, Director of Rooftop Operations.
Yes.
But we got a lot of exciting stuff coming. We're actually going to have a rather interesting head-to-head competition with some products that might surprise you coming up soon.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And as that goes through, guys, we thank you so much for joining us, and keep coming back. Contact us. Let us know where we should do another listener question show, and I will do my best to not just answer questions when I get them.
Nick's pretty good about it.
But like we'll compile them, and we can answer them all on the show.
That'd be fun. That'd be really cool.
Because every now and then we'll get a question and I just answer it because, well, yeah, that's what I do.
It usually goes like this. Hey, guys, love the show. Hey, Nick, got a question for you. And that's totally fine. Because
you have also got questions before.
Yeah, but it's like, what color is the sky and stuff like that.
It's blue because God loves the infantry.
That's right.
But all right. Well, everyone, thanks again for listening. You folks out there, you stay safe and stay armed. Support the people who support the show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, 4Patriots.com, and Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to check us out on social media. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on YouTube. AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook and wherever podcasts are found. If you just want to drop us a line, let us know how we're doing, or give us a show idea, make sure to send that email to AR-15podcast 2.0 @gmail.com.